Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to round 2 of the 2022 Oman International Drift Championship. My name is Ian Waddington, and tonight I'm going to be guiding you through our top 32 battles.
أهلا وسهلا بجميع الحضور المتواجد في حلبة مسقط أرينا بالجمعية العمانية للسيارات. معكم حبيب الزواوي، راح نكون معكم في التعليق على مجريات البطولة ابتداء من الدور 32 مباشرة على قنوات اليوتيوب والفيسبوك.
So right now we're on track and we're going to take a look at some points that our judges pointed out to us earlier on. First off, it's the initiation. Our lead drivers need to snap to angle fast, not over that dotted white line. Thumbs up to both the drivers. They look across and nod at each other through the windows. Light goes green. Hadidi slams off the clutch. Full throttle. Not scared at all as Hadidi puts pedal to metal, flicks the car across. Nice snappy initiation, just as we talked about a couple of moments ago. Look at that, deep into the outside zone. But you can see Atia on the inside of the circuit losing points, bleeding points away from Hadidi right now as the sun beats down across the track. Nice transition across the tarmac goes Hadidi into the outside zone. A big mistake and a straightened wheels on the inside of the circuit there for Dia. Dia struggling massively as Hadidi absolutely nails that qualifying line, gets it done, stands on the accelerator, transitions the car, sets it up, and big clutch kick as Hadidi heads to the wall. Back end of the S15 perfectly scraping. It's almost contact as Atia makes a dive. So, quick look back at the replay and you can see where it all fell apart from Atia. Initiated on the inside edge of the circuit. You see that dotted white line? That is for our lead cars to initiate on. So, our lead cars can't initiate on the right-hand side of the circuit. They have to be in that they have to be on that right-hand side. They can't be on the left-hand side of the circuit. They have to initiate within those two white lines. Hadidi got it absolutely dialed. They are allowed to put a wheel on the line, but not over it. And for Atia, that's where it all fell apart. Car just didn't want to react, didn't have to grip and didn't have to pace. You can see her now struggling to get back into that zone. Makes a one last little ditch attempt to get onto the side. So we go, we'll get the green light and we're off. Chevrolet V8 underneath the bonnet of this 370Z. Nice initiation from Mattia. This time he goes way wide, whoa, wide. Oh, both cars four wheels off circuit. So we're going to reiterate and go back to what the judges were talking about in the twin battle briefing just a few hours ago, and it was that if the lead car leads the chase car off the circuit by being on the incorrect line, the lead car will be at fault, and we did see that in the instance. Now we did see an almost over rotation there from Hadidi. I think a little bit of panic set in there for him in that chase position, but it will be the biggest fault scored first, which will be Atia taking that car off track. Atidi, Mohammed Hadman, Zayman Hadman, bullseye from Malaysia in that chase position. New car, had this car for a while, new car to the UAE though, and to the Middle East. Bullseye said he's driven this car for many years, but oh, look at this, Solomon gets it wrong, fires the car off the circuit. This is a 10-0 advantage already for Bullseye now. Solomon tries to reclaim anything left in this run. Transitions through the centre of the circuit. Bullseye holding on, keeping himself in it. You're thinking his lucky stars. They get both up on to that second wall ride. Solomon now finds the grip in the rear wheels of that BMW E92 V8 turbo underneath the bonnet as Bullseye flirts with danger, pushing that S15 right up onto the side of Solomon. Does it again, gets a little cheeky dive in as they go up to the wall and across the line. He's chase a run, hoping that Bullseye makes a mistake. Bullseye though, looking rock steady. Can he get it dialed together? Initiates just a wheel over that centre line. No mistakes this time. Solomon starting to wash deep into the outside zone once again. Bullseye, you can see the front end of that car just not gripping up as much as he wanted. A little bit of a understeer coming into the beginning of that run. Gets himself back in it. Nice transition back. Solomon starts to make the kill, but just can't find himself onto the side of that S15. The Malaysian driver looking like the strongest contender right now. They're heading into it. Solomon wheels off track again. Takes out the cones as Bullseye pulls away. Fires into the outside zone, and Bullseye will be absolutely stellar as he takes the back end off the car. Wow. So anti-lag popping and banging through the start line they come. Turbo through the gears. Nice little flick across the track as here he goes for initiation, but he's made the same mistake as Saudatir did in his run. Initiated too early, finds himself on the inside of the circuit. Benedict's Turbo right up onto the wall. Looks for the transition, perfectly timed from Turbo. Look at that, keeps that rear wheel inside that circuit. Aziri just can't find that proximity, a little bit worried, shallowing up the angle, looking scrappy, finds himself back on the inside of the circuit. Once again, judges said if you are on the inside edge of that circuit, in the briefing, you are cutting the course, you will bleed in points. And Benedictus Turbo right now looks like this could be almost a 9.1 run to him. There we go. These guys feeling the pressure in the car. Anti-lag banging once again for Al-Aziri as they come off the start line. Cherba keeps him in his sights but doesn't want to get too close, doesn't know what he's going to do, and throws it off track is exactly what he's going to do, but he's going to re-enter in front of Cherba. Cherba very carefully lifts off the throttle there, allows that car to slow down, allows Al-Aziri back onto the circuit, and then gives him a nice chase. Now, a lot of you guys would be saying, well, why doesn't he give him more of room to chase? But judges said that you must be within 2 clipping points of each other, and Al-Aziri there onto the wall, got a little nervous, shut it down, and almost made contact with Benediktas Cherba. So, at the moment, top 32 is self-explanatory for most of these guys. As we look back at a replay, take a look at what happened to Al-Aziri's car. You can see here, again, initiated carrying lots of speed. That car caught a whole bunch of understeer. The track freshly swept before top 32 and repainted. So perfect conditions, clean as they have been all weekend and for all the rest of the rounds. Unfortunately for Al-Aziri, he just couldn't hold it together, and this is where it kind of went wrong. Yeah, he was getting himself into the wall. He shallowed up the angle. He still did make contact with the wall, but Benediktas Cherba, they're doing a sterling job to avoid any contact. So there we go. Benediktas Cherba getting the win and advancing through into the top 16. And we go back to the start line for the next round of competition. Will be Sergei Kremitz to take on Mohamed Hassan. Cars slam into gear, amber light flashes, and you can see Hassan starts put away. Oh, Matsuri looking nice though, not scared. Sergei Kremitz dropping a wheel over the outside edge of the circuit, holds on to it though. Sergei Kremitz been keeping himself in the mix this weekend, but look at this from Mansuri. Mansuri not messing around. Into the mix again on the transition, waits, but he's got himself in an awkward position on the circuit. He's going to be out of the outside zone. He needs to work the back end of that car in, but Sergei Kremitz not as deep into the outside zone for the full longevity he would like to see. Dabs the handbrake, sets himself up now. Sergei Kremitz tries to get away as Mansuri throws it away on the wall and just makes it. Looking to get some Ukrainian on the podium this weekend. Oh, what a strange initiation. Mansuri fires 3 wheels off circuit. As Sergei Kremitz is not in the mix whatsoever, thrown this one away, making a real hash of this run so far. As Sergei Kremitz is all over the place, not even on that qualifying line, starts to find the proximity now. As Mansuri gets himself into that wall, outside zone, Kremitz gets himself back into it, calms the nerves, stands on the accelerator, fires the back end, but once again, both guys dropping wheels on the outside edge of the track. Make the dive up onto that final outside zone, slow the car down as Mansuri gets into it and Kremitz is on the door. Was just asking to be destroyed. Can Falah get there? Falah, those smoking tyres from the get-go, bonnet flapping in the wind as they carry speed down into the initiation. Falah way off the outside zone. Tariq Al-Shahani was looking like he was going to take 3rd place in qualifying last night until robbed by Bagzi. And Shahani had really nice lead line. Oh, saying that, avoids that clipping point in the centre of the circuit. As Falah cannot find that proximity, just hasn't got the grip to keep up with Shahani. Shahani hammers down through the middle of the circuit. All the power in the world, but no tyre grip. Oh, as Falah fires it off, takes those cones out, and scrubs the back bumper on the wall. The grip starts to fall off, but then regains itself in battle. Here we go, Falah to lead. Shahani to give chase on a very, very late initiation there from Falah. As you can see, gets himself into it, but that's completely messed up. Shahani's line. Shahani makes a dive onto the side. It's just looking scrappy for Shahani. All straightens in the middle of the circuit. Falah doing everything he can out front, trying to put in that good qualifying run. Falah up to the wall they go. Shahani trying to get himself into it, clawing back, hanging on by his fingernails into this battle right now is Shahani. Parks that orange S13 on the inside, waits for the transition, now goes for a shallow dive across the circuit, wheels off again from Falah, and an over rotation, and Falah throws the battle away. Amri's 350Z, probably the loudest, most aggressive car on the grid, but Chiab absolutely flying. As I say that, commentator's curse, throws two wheels off the back end of the circuit, gets himself back into it, now wanders dangerously close to the front edge of that line. Amri in the back there, holding on. Can he get it done? He can't. Transitions way too late. Finds himself in the centre of the circuit. Chiab out front, not doing a bad job in that Pro Drift Academy. Corvette C6, more and more of these appearing on the drift scene now. Matt Field and Dave Egan taking hold of that. And look at this as he fires into the outside zone. Chiab fires the car to the wall. Wow, big angle across the line from Chiab. Attempts because it is incredibly hot today. Light goes green. Chiab jumps as he can do, but now he's got to slow down. Dives across the track, gets on the back bumper of that 350Z. Nice initiation from Amri, just flirting with dropping wheels way over the edge of that track. Oh, and Chiab's on the inside of the circuit making huge mistakes on the left foot brake, trying to dial it onto the door, goes for the flick across the circuit. Very close to contact there from Chiab as Chiab's on the rear bumper. And Amri gets himself back into it. This is not a bad lead line for Amri. He's opening the door for Chiab to be right up close and personal. Look at the proximity as Chiab goes for the dive. Looks to get himself into it. Chiab finds himself in the middle of the circuit once again as Amri puts it to the wall. Nice job. The world before, he wanted to come to Oman. We didn't get the opportunity before, but here he is in that lead position. 5th place qualifier, Martin Richards to fire in. Look at this. So, oh, backs it in. Almost takes Richards out of it. And an over rotation for Fakar. Just cannot get himself into the zone, and the fear of driving with the talent of Martin Richards just pushed him to the edge. Martin Richards now going to try and finish up the run and get some feel for the grip levels out on circuit. He would have got the feedback from a lot of those other drivers that have already been out and seen where they're sitting. And Fakar in the background there just going to finish up. He's running the chase position as Richards brings the back end of that Driftworks R32 across the line. Here we go, optional camera angle. Oh, and there was a stall from Richards. There was a stall from Richards off throttle on that initiation. Wow. So there we go. That just goes to show you the lay of the land, how the track has evolved in the last few hours. Is it losing grip? Will it regain grip as we move through top 32 competition? For Martin Richards, though, he was off throttle for a split second to the button as these guys sent away manually. Eldine to lead, Richards to give chase. Through the gears he comes. Richards nervous on the initiation. Wheels dropped for Eldine in that GT86. Gets himself into it. Richards on the inside edge of the circuit. That was a huge mistake waiting for the initiation. A huge mistake. He should have waited and got himself straight into it, but he didn't. Transitions back. Richards now panicking. Oh, but Eldine parks it into the wall. And you know what? If there was ever a time when Martin Richards needed a lifeline, it was right there, because that was all starting to fall apart for Martin Richards there. He's going to have to go back to the pits and have a sit down to get the job done. Front end of that GT86 pops up with aggression as he slams off the clutch. Down he comes, Maxide. Nice initiation. Gets himself into it. Oh, just about holds on to it. Starts to lead Nameh. No, off the track. And judges will take that into account now as Maxide throws up a smoke screen, dives across the circuit, dips the back wheels, that GT86 into the outside zone, gets himself back on the throttle, on the wall, and into this outside zone. Real long outside zone, carries all the speed, shallows up the angle. Maxide looks for the transition back, pops the clutch once again as he sets himself up. He's deep onto the wall. Maxide absolutely fine. And Maxide, slower approach off the line this time, waits for Nameh to get himself up and gone. Oh, and a big mistake from Nameh. Fires four wheels off the circuit. He's going to try and regain. He dives across the track. Maxide, you can see off that line, he lifted off the throttle, allowed Nameh to go back onto the circuit as Ali Maxide now starts to gain a little bit of proximity. Nameh gets himself into the mix. Ali Maxide, though, makes contact with him. They keep going. Nameh off the throttle. Ali Maxide just carrying proximity into that battle, into that outside zone. And Ali Maxide, you can see, dip of the clutch, comes off the throttle, lets the car settle. Nameh fires it to the wall. Maxide right on the rear bumper. Really nice young guy. And said to me the other day in an interview that he set his aims high. He wants to come to Oman and dominate, and then he wants to go to Drift Masters and dominate too. But look at this, he's got to go through Daham and he can't hold on to it. He just can't hold on to it. Fired everything he did in that. Daham has set this car up with incredible amounts of grip. You can see the front wheels almost popping off the tarmac with every clutch kick. And Azar struggling in the background. You can see in the middle of the circuit, wandering in and out. And this car lent to Azar from Bullseye. This was the car that Bullseye drove in a few seasons. Light goes amber, light goes green. Daham to chase down Azar. Spotting the top 16 awaits. Can the Prince of Pakistan fulfill a dream, a lifelong dream? Nice initiation. Now Daham finds himself on the inside edge of the circuit. Wheels being dropped though from Azar as they come down. Daham finds the proximity. As unnerving as it is to be that close to someone who's not on that perfect line, Daham fires caution to the wind across the circuit. Goes Daham and almost makes contact with the back of the IS200. And there is a problem. There is an issue with that car. And Ben Azar's chance of becoming more than just a guest appearance right now has slowly fallen away as Ahmed Daham puts the back end of the S14 carbon body panels. Incredible job. Here we go through the gate. Mabsali not messing around. Big flick across the track. He's going to drop a wheel. Oh, he does just, but he holds on to it. Mabsali starts to fall off the circuit. Just holds on to it. As you can see, Mabsali getting himself back into it. Not doing a bad job so far. Nicer than his qualifying run. Gets the back end of that Mark IV Supra onto the wall as Nasir struggles to find some proximity. Shallowing up the angle. Incredibly shallow angle from Nasir in that 350Z. Can't get himself into the mix. Riyad Al-Masali though fires the back end of that Supra into the outside zone. Tidy job for goes amber, light goes green. Mabsali looks across. Look at this, staring him down as he go alongside, almost door to door on the initiation. Mabsali not messing around. Look at this, gets into it. Oh, gives him a touch. Nasir holds on for dear life in that 350Z as he opens up all 600 horsepower from that 350Z. Transitions across the track, fires big angle on it. Mabsali not messing around, bumper to bumper transition. Riyad Al-Mabsali not getting left behind here, dials on more angle as Mabsali tucks that Supra onto the door. Mabsali is absolutely flirting with danger. Nasir fires into that final outside zone. Mabsali straightens ever so slightly, makes a massive mistake, but what a run from Riyad Al-Mabsali. Tazikawa. Takizawa now in the chase. That big Mark II chaser hunting down the Turbo Systems E92 BMW, and for a while there Vasiliauskas had to hold on for a little bit. This is Scrappy in the lead. He's in and out of the outside zone, stands on the throttle. We know he's got all of the horsepower underneath the bonnet. S55 Turbo hammers down once again on the throttle, gets that rear wheel into that zone. Takizawa though not doing a bad job to say he's going up against a world-class driver right now as he transitions across the circuit. Vasiliauskas gets himself deep into the outside zone. He's going to wander out of it, wanders back into it, across the line. Not a clean battle, or not a clean run from leads them both out. What's he got as he slams through the gears? You can see Vasiliauskas going to go for that initiation. Copies what Riyad Al-Mabsali did. Both guys get into it. Nice initiation. Lovely setup on the outside zone. Nice and deep. But look at this from Vasiliauskas. He's got the proximity. He's right on the inside of the door. Transition across the circuit. Big angle thrown on. Trying to upset him. Vasiliauskas. It's Takizawa now as Takizawa gets into the wall. Takizawa gets it into the wall and makes contact with Vasiliauskas. And Vasiliauskas aborts the run. And that one's going to be a tough one for the judges now. 6. Rarahovsky representing Ukraine versus Lebanon right now. Nice initiation from Rarahovsky. A lot of drivers saying Rarahovsky is one of the fastest guys on circuit. That car absolutely gets up and goes as Rarahovsky puts the back end of the 86 to the wall. Nice transition across the circuit. It's going to be flirting with danger. Absolutely perfect. Oh, wow. Musulmani, though, makes contact and over-rotates as Rarahovsky tries to finish the run and puts himself into the wall. What is going on? So, there we go. Rarahovsky. And I'll tell you exactly where it went from Musulmani, where it all went wrong. Right here. bam, decides to make the decision to dive across the circuit, carried 10 times more speed than what Rarachowski was. That was when the impact happened. And can't see that inside wheel, but I'm guessing maybe a D-bead or broke the rim, and Rarachowski had no grip, fired himself into the wall. So here we go, alternative angle. So we might be able to see the tyre from Rarachowski's car, whether it was damaged or not. As he gets himself set up nicely, you can see the same Musselmani. Look, watch this. Inside edge of the circuit, makes a dive. Oh, I'm not sure, you know. I didn't see any damage on that car, but maybe bent a tie rod on the front. It just looked like it had no rear grip though, more than anything. Tough one. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We can see Rostiav Rarachowski's car on the back of the recovery truck, the tyre wall rebuilt, and drivers and officials getting ready to rock and roll. There we go, in the starting lines out the back, the gridding area. Drivers getting ready, suited and booted for action, as Rarachowski's GT86 gets removed from the track. Now, I haven't had news yet that Rarachowski will get a competition timeout, but I am going to go off my own knowledge that Rarachowski will get a competition timeout and be allowed time to fix that car, and we will remove Hussein Musselmani from the start line and move on with the next battle, which will be Steve Bagsy Biagioni to take on Aloid. There we go. Two incredible drivers, Ahmed Daham and Ali Maksid, just having a chat there in the background. These guys just enjoying the last bit of the warm weather before the sun sets, and that light breeze takes the chill, puts the chill, in the air. There we go, Fontaine and Clint Van Oort there, just having a little bit of chill time as well. Their battle's coming up soon. The last battle of the day will be Clint Van Oort take on Salim. So, officials and judges now just relaying information back down to the start line. I do believe we will then move on to the next battle. Well, here we go, thumbs up all round. Bagsy and Mahmoud come off the line. Bagsy flat through the gears. Monster Energy ST suspension PS13 getting into business right now. Sends it in, keeps it holding the circuit. Oh, and a big understeer for Mahmood. Mahmood just cannot hang with the pace and the grip in the back end of that S13 of Bagsy's. And once again, Mahmood falls apart. Bagsy starts to throw down that third place qualifying run. That consistency creeping back in, and Mahmood making hundreds of errors in the background. A 10-0 advantage already to Bagsy, and so much understeer. Fires that car an angle, trying to get some proximity on Bagsy, but just cannot hang with him. Bagsy gets into the outside zone. There's a back end of the car on the wall, and Bagsy, job done. And the green light is go. Can Mahmood lay down a lead line? This could be uncharted waters for Bagsy right now as he fires in. That Monster Energy S13, Mahmood finds everything he has, but he fires that car across the centre of the track, and Mahmood's car just has no power, nothing left to give as Mahmood fires the car left to right, trying to redeem something, trying to stick something together as Bagsy just gives him the room to manoeuvre, sticks to that qualifying line. Mahmood fires the throttle to the floor, and now Bagsy gets himself into that final outside zone, and Mahmood on the inside edge of the track. Bagsy finishes up the run, and you can see Jabir. Oh wow, Lipski dropping wheels off the edge of the track already. Oh, not even on the initiation. Fires that car in. Jabbar's coming in hot though, almost makes contact with him. Timo Lipski keeps in it. Oh, and this one's going to be deadly. Oh, and he hits him. Massive contact and turns him around. Mohammed with a huge error there. Makes a huge dive onto the door. And I'm not sure, ladies and gentlemen, if we're going to get a clean battle in the second half of this top 32 bracket. So, just testing that steering on that 350Z. Want to make his way back to the start line, I do believe. Roll, Lipski pushes the cone out of the way. That front bumper of that E46 BMW looking damaged. Oh, Lipski puts a wheel off the edge of the circuit, takes down a cone, keeps in it in the outside zone. Jabir puts foot to floor, finds himself in the middle of the circuit. Once again, nowhere near that outside wall. As Lipski keeps his distance, he knows he has to be somewhat close to him in the matter of proximity to get the win if judges deem it that way. They transition down up onto the final outer wall run, and Jabir nowhere near that clipping point. You can see Lipski just doing what he can, gets the job done, gets the car home safe. Doesn't take the opportunity to jump that start line. He knows that Al Saraf is fast. Al Saraf, oh, straight line initiation, and the problem with the car, he's going to lock up massively, voids the wall, and Clint Van Hoort, well, I mean, what did I expect? It's been a whole roller coaster of emotions, crashes, thrills and spills in the last half hour here, ladies and gentlemen, at round 2 of the 2022 Oman International Drift Championship. For a moment there, I thought we was going to have a real nice, clean, fast battle. Clint Van Hoort just got handed an incredible lifeline, and could that be what he wanted? Could that be what he needed to get himself further in competition? Starts to jump it, uses every advantage he can right now. He knows he's massively out of this one. Car initiates this time, no such problems. Clint Van Hoort gets into it, into the outside zone. Look at Al Saraf. Al Saraf goes for the door. Clint Van Hoort falls off that qualifying line. Saraf does an incredible job of backing out of it and getting back into it. Again, nice transition from Al Saraf as he dives across the track. Wow, incredible driving from Saraf right now as Clint Van Hoort gets himself deep into the outside zone. He's feeling the pressure from Saraf as Saraf tucks up on the inside in that 350Z. Oh, wow, what an incredible transition. Takes the back end off the car, and Clint Van Hoort goes super deep, destroys the car on the wall. Wow, we were robbed. We were robbed of some lost ground. Light goes green. Hazard comes through the gate hot. Chased down, though, by Sebastian Fontaine. Nice snap to initiation from Hassani. Hassani gets himself into it nice and deep in the outside zone. That carbon Kevlar boss kitted S14 flying right now. Wow, nice job on the wall from Hassani as Sebastian Fontaine has to pick his game up a little bit there. Shallows up the angle, makes a dive up to the side. Oh, a little wobble on angle as they head towards the wall. Both guys unnerved. Hassani falls at the outside zone, back onto the throttle once again as Hassani smokes out Fontaine. Fontaine going for it though. These guys are not messing around. Pace 100 as they go wheel to wheel across the line. Wow. That was a seriously up-paced battle. That was hot and heavy. Look at this, nice initiation. Hassani's car crabbed across the track, got himself deep into the outside zone, foot flat to the floor, as Hassani gets almost all of that boss-kitted carbon Kevlar S14 into the outside zone, nice onto the wall. Fontaine hanging around in the background like a spare part. Then decides, well, I need to get myself into the mix here, goes for a dive. Hassani wobbles ever so slightly, slams on that foot brake, gets himself into the outside zone, just about keeps a wheel in it as he then goes nice and deep. Fontaine opens up the doors, takes a step inside, big flame erupts as Fontaine washes, dials the car on angle, gets on the door and then really stamps his authority as he touches the front wheel across the line. Wow. Well, as you can see, sun just creeping behind the mountains and the buildings in the background. Won't be long now, and we will be under darkness for top 16. Hassani pulls to the line to chase position, and does a sterling job in that chase position as well. The higher qualifier, 14th place. Fontaine down in 19th. Like goes Amber, like goes Green. Fontaine, all the work to do now. What can he do? Hassani going to be looking for a little bit of blood. Maybe in the water from Sebastian Fontaine. Nice initiation on the handbrake for a while though, was Fontaine slowed that car down. Hassani deeper in the outside zone. Hassani sticks it onto the quarter. Fontaine falls out of that zone away from the wall, makes a scrappy transition. Hassani holds onto it, leaves it late. The back bumper disposed of on the back end of Fontaine's E36 BMW as Hassani levels himself up in the centre of the circuit for the slingshot onto the door as Fontaine squeezes the throttle. He's going to have to work to get to the outside zone. Hassani left a little bit here, left asking a question, did you do enough? Now here in Oman, we'll be under the spotlights when we come back. Here we go, through the gears goes Musulmani, that car flicking left to right, no messing around. Rarahovsky waits for the initiation, doesn't get himself too into the mix just at the moment. Now starts to hunt down the back end of Musulmani's E46 BMW. Musulmani fires into it. Rostilav right with him as they come across the circuit. Oh, and almost contact again as Musulmani fires it into a circle. So there we go. I think that is all she wrote for Hussein Musulmani.